Hello, welcome to all of you. If you're watching me live, congratulations. And we are right now creating a course, and you're part of this course, How to Create a Life Which is Worth Living. And that is a new course which I'm launching. And you're part of this journey where I'll be cutting out eventually with a lot of worksheets and all. So you are the first one who is going through this course right now. All right. So first, congratulations for that. And if you have been attending my last three sessions, this is the third session of this curriculum. So if you attended it, any of this session, previous session, why don't you say I have how many sessions you attended, and say hi to me, which city you have logged in from, and what you had been liking till now, and from there we'll take it further. So yesterday we had an intense session. We covered almost 35-40 minutes of talk, which has a lot of points. And today I'll take you from there just to recap 2 or 3 minutes so that we are on the same page, so that if you missed out also. And this content, yesterday's content, is going to be removed by tomorrow. So if you have not gone through it yet, today is the last chance for you, because tomorrow it will be removed. All right, so Krishna Chaitanya has attended 2 sessions. Wow, Krishna, nice to see you. Nice to see you live first. Thank you so much. You have been coming quite regularly. Happy to see you. All right, so let me just recap what we have covered by now so that we all are on the same page. What I've covered is till now is a very simple thing. I started, if you want to create a life which is worth living, and that's the book which I'm talking about. It is not my book, it can be your book as well. You can also create a life which is worth living. And a life which is worth living, for that yesterday I was talking about, that just visualize yourself, you are the watching your own funeral. I know it's when I say funeral, it creates a different negative emotion, but that's the ultimate reality of life. The only way we can become serious about our life is the day we understand that our life is not forever. It is for a small period of time. And once we realize that it is for a smaller period of time, seriousness increases automatically. And that's the whole idea. And that's what I was talking yesterday, that if you imagine yourself, you are in a funeral, and what people will talk to you about you in your funeral is a very important question. Think upon it. And if you don't try to create it something in advance, what will happen, I'll tell you, it will be something which will be by default. And by default, life doesn't work, And the reason why it is so important, your story should be inspirational, because people connect with story. If tomorrow you want to inspire your grandchild, think upon it. Do you want to inspire your grandchild, or it's game and game? My grandfather was just like that, ordinary guy struggling, that's all. I mean, is that what life you want? I don't think so. I know you have potential to do something beyond. I know you have the capacity to go beyond. Only thing is, will you do it, is a question mark. And that's what we've been covering yesterday. Then I said, stories actually have, people don't connect with the cold facts, or people don't connect with the graphs. People connect with the stories. Then yesterday I covered what are the components of the story. Your story will have some humor, some drama, some ups, some downs, and some success and some losses. That's how your story will be. It will have some comedy, some tragedy, some history, and that's what your story will have. So what do you want your story to convey? There is to be plot. So component is clear. Now plot, will it be an inspirational plot? Will it be a plot of struggle to victory? What will be the plot? You have to decide it in advance. And I gave you an example of any successful movie. If you have observed, the reason it is successful is for a simple fact that it has inspiration into it. The prototype of the movie comes, he struggles, he fights, and finally he accomplishes the victory. And that's why it is a successful movie. And your life can be a movie. Actually, you're in a movie already. Only thing is, will you design it yourself, or will you keep it as a by default? That choice is in your hand. And that's what I hope it will not be a by default. And I'm 100% sure it is not by default, because you're part of this course. If you're part of this course, you are not looking for a by default life, right? Now, a lot of people got confused. I mean, they get confused. What is significance? I mean, what is that? I'm not even successful. What does that mean? Then I covered that what significance is not. I have also covered that you don't have to be successful. You don't have to be some president. You don't have to be some celebrity. Everybody can create significance. And for that, I gave you a very interesting line, in that it is to be significant. To be significant, all you have to do is make a difference with others wherever you are, whatever you have, one day at a time, one act at a time. Just that much is what it takes to be significant. And that's what I covered. And then I said, what will you fill your book with? If your life is a book, then what will you fill it with? And I give you 10 points to fill it up with. Those 10 points were, I'll fill my book with act of kindness, act of empowerment. I'll empower people. I'll cover it with some thoughts, some visionary thoughts. The heart-touching, some heart-touching episodes where you went out of your comfort zone to give something to others. That should be a great episode in your book. Why not? That can be one of them. The act of courage. And I define courage very categorically, that courage is following your passion, following your dream, despite knowing the fact that somebody will oppose, that somebody will pull you down. But that is courage, that you still follow because you believe in your idea. That's very, very important. If you should have some courageous act, that's if you have some crazy experiments. I mean, how boring your life would be. You experiment and things are not failing, then it means you have not taken any risk. You have not explored to the full potential. You have not explored the territories which you could have if you were able to handle failure. That's what I've covered next. And then attitude of gratitude, because you cannot become successful without having a gratitude. All of us have got enough to be gratitude for, irrespective of whether our life is where we want. But still, I can tell you, we still have enough reason to have gratitude. And if we do not have it, impossible to get further. Impossible. And I have learned the hard way out, because in young days I used to feel, man, I don't have gratitude. Everything I have earned myself. All hard work I have done myself. And then one fine day I realized it's not possible. Everything I'm having in my life is because somebody put effort, though I may not be aware of it. And the day I realized, it's not for the sake of saying, the day I realized it, my internal behavior started changing. And that same thing I hope will happen for you if you understand. If you want to create a life which is worth living, you cannot remove the component of gratitude from your life. That's for sure. And then I also had a vision for myself that I want to stretch people. When people recall my face, they'll say, man, this guy stretched me. He forced me to grow to my full potential. I mean, I was trying to push aside, but Vijay came and forced me. He tried to stretch me. And that is one of my dreams, that I want to stretch you to your full potential. That's for sure. And last thing which I want in my book, I don't know what will happen in your book. Think in these directions. You don't have to take as it is what I do, because your book is your life. And you decide what you want in your life. I'm just giving you my direction. These directions can help you to chalk down a path for yourself. And the last one which I was having in my mind was, I want to smash people's limiting belief. Because I had a lot of limiting belief due to my upbringing. I mean, obviously I'm a school dropout and I have a lot of crazy stuff in my life. And because of that, some limiting beliefs I accumulated by the time I was 30. And then I smashed those beliefs in 6 years. And I started accomplishing my success. So I want to do the same for others. Somebody smashed my belief system. Somebody smashed my limiting belief. Now I want to be a messenger in that for you, if you want to be. Now, how do you do that? That's what I said yesterday. I was covering that reason is not enough. We need to have good intentions will not take you further. We need to intentionality. And I said intentionality is life of nobody to life that makes a difference. That's a bridge. And if you're passive, you cannot succeed. Passive people cannot succeed. You just observe and you have no such things, you cannot succeed. So that's what I have covered so far. And today I'll take you to from the next further, the vulnerability myth. And before I go further, if you are there live right now, let's talk for some time before I take it further. So Krishna Chaitanya is there, Raghvendra has joined. And if you're watching, I see more than 20 people online. So why don't you guys say hello to me? And before I go to the today's teaching, and we'll be taking 25 minutes from now, we will take more important concept. But before, let me say hello to all of you. If you are watching me live right now, irrespective of LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you are, or YouTube, if you're watching, let me know. I would like to talk to you for 2 minutes before we go further. And why don't you share your excitement? I mean, what are you learning? Basically, that is more important. It's not just watching. I don't want you to be a passive viewer. I want you to be an active participant. Ram is there. So Ram is from US. He has joined with us right now. That's great, Ram. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so happy. We'll walk this journey together. Anybody else, if you're there, I want your learning. Before you log out from today's call, I want to add something. What are 3 things you would like to put in your story? 3 things that you would like to add in your life. If your life is your book, what are those 3 things you would like in your book? Important things, which you believe, at least these 3 things I'll do no matter what happens, no matter how much hardship I face. I want those. Hari Pandit is there online right now. Hari Pandit, hi. Vaibhav is there. Very nice. I see all of you. Great. So keep adding up. Keep saying hello and to me, because once I keep teaching, I want to know whom I'm talking to, though I cannot see you right now. But at least I'll have some belief that you all are there with me, so we can take it further. All right. So first, let me give another perspective. When you're trying to create this book, the biggest myth you will have is thinking about people. 90% people let go their aspirations and their dreams only for one reason: what people will think about me. So I read it somewhere and I modified it based on my personality. What I said was, I wrote it down just in the evening today, okay? When you're in 20s, okay? When you're 20s, you're very sensitive about people. And you're worried what others might be thinking about you. That is what 20s goes through, you know? And when you're in 30s, you are irritated. You are irritated by people and the restrictions. When 30, you want to do something and you feel everything as a restriction. So you don't want to be in that restriction. When you go to 30s, you want to break the rules. So you're irritated by people and you are suffocated by the restrictions. That is by 30s. When you go by 40s, you start removing people from your life. You start eliminating. Now you're a little mature. You have little wisdoms. You say, man, I don't need these people in my life anymore. You start removing people one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Anything which is non-essential, you start removing. That is your 40s. By 50s, you start thinking whether people are really thinking about you. You really start thinking, I mean, are there really people who think about us? Are they really? That is your 50s. And by 60s, you realize actually nobody was thinking about you. That is the truth. Reason being, they themselves are not able to figure out their solution. Where is the time to think about you and me? Imagine if by 20s we can get this wisdom that people don't have time to think about us except our parents and some very close people with whom you are attached. Like, who will be thinking about me? My wife, my two sons, my brother. He also his own life right now, so obviously he will not have time to think. He's busy in his own life. Except my wife, my kids, and to some extent my close business partners, 7 to 10 business partner of mine with whom we are impacting the world, where we have taken a mission to change the world. Except them, I don't think anybody has time for that. They might just recall for some time and they're gone. If this wisdom you can get now, think upon it. Just visualize yourself for a few seconds and think, it doesn't matter what people think about me. I want to pursue my dream. I want to pursue what my heart says. I will get it done. How do you feel now? How do you feel? Just think about it. In the chat box, tell me, how do you feel? If you remove this barrier of people in your life, how do you feel? Do you feel relieved? If you feel relieved, say I. I mean, say I to me. Means I feel relieved now. I don't care about anybody else. I feel relieved. If you're like that, can you say I to me? I mean, right away say this before I go further. So this learning that people are not having time to think about you, if you can get that, do you really care about it anymore? How do you feel? Immediately when I felt about it, suddenly somebody removed load from my shoulder, and I said, man, I can live the life I want. Why should I limit myself? As long as it is legal, as long as it is not violating rights of others, I will pursue my dream, whether people like it or do not like it. That is none of my business. I have to follow what heart says to me. So put in the chat box, what do you feel about it? So that, I can read this chat box. Some of the chats I can read right now, some I'll read after that. So what was my biggest understanding was, I have to admit that this notion, I was also struggling from this feeling, by the way. It's not that I suddenly came through and I was finding very difficult. So what was happening? I was taking myself very seriously. I was trying to hide my failures. I was trying to hide my weaknesses. I was trying to project myself as neat and clean person, a person with no flaw. Then one day I met John Maxwell in one of the conference. And John said, Vijay, you're taking yourself too seriously. Not required to be, You don't require to be. I said, what do you mean by John? I asked John a very simple question. I said, John, if people see me having weaknesses, why would they consider me as a leader? Why would they listen to me? And John started laughing. I mean, I said, come on, John, wait, hold on. Why are you laughing? And he said, Vijay, you have a myth. You have an illusion about yourself, The problem is people are aware about your weakness already. Whether you say them or not, doesn't matter. They're already aware of your weaknesses. They're not following you just because you have weakness. They're following you because they know you have weakness and you're working on those weaknesses and you're really working on your strength area. That's why they're following you. It's impossible that as a human being, you do not have weakness to come out of that illusion. I said, wow, that is awesome. I said, that's great. Then I can be what I am. I mean, obviously some character weakness I have to remove. Other than this, who cares? Forget it. Move on. And that gave me a lot of mental peace. The moment I started realizing, so the biggest threat, so first, remove this fear. So if you want to create a life which is worth living, the first thing you have to remove the people fear. That's very important. Second thing, you cannot be apathetic. Now, when I say apathetic, in Hindi they say, right, chalta attitude. Whatever is happening, let it happen. If that is the mindset, whatever is happening, let it happen, then I don't think you'll create any difference in life. You will not, because the habit of compromising will not help us take forward in our life. What does that mean? I'll give you an example. Remember that movie Swades? I'm sure you watched this movie. It's an amazing movie. It's a very good movie. I liked it. And in that one scene comes when Shahrukh Khan is in that village and power cut happens. And the village guys are just sitting there. And Shahrukh Khan said, man, you know what? You guys have habituated yourself to stay in the darkness. You are okay to have this darkness, so you are never going to work hard to bring light in your town. And that was an amazing scene. It touched my heart, and I said, yes, right. As long as we are okay to face this problem and we are not willing to work for it, nothing will change. We cannot have this apathy in our mind. The moment you have this apathetic nature, you will not be able to change. Now, as I was talking yesterday in my previous session, that a lot of people get overwhelmed. They're thinking, anyways, I cannot change the situation, why to burn my energy? Yes, that is one part of it. At least I'll try my level best. After trying my level best, if I know, okay, there is no more control in my hand, it's fine. I can change that. Now think upon it. Can I change government right now? Is it possible? I mean, it's not possible. Can I change the government of my own house? Can I see what I can work around there? That is possible. Now, why people are apathetic is the first question. Why people have that attitude? Two reasons I found. Not two. I found 5 reasons. Number one, past failure. All of us have given an attempt in the past of some things. And after attempting, when we could not succeed, the pain of failure, we took it very personally, and then we started saying, man, it doesn't matter to me. Actually, it is mattering to us, but deep within, we have the fear of failing again. So we say, man, it's okay. Actually, we don't want to get into the fight anymore. We have come out of the fight. That's the problem. So first one is that past failures. Second is wrong programming. Now, what is wrong programming? Sometimes when you're working hard towards success, society will abuse you. Society will, no, let's say society, who is that society? Somebody who is some distant relative of yours, and they may try to impose their thought on you, and that can disturb you. So they may say you are greedy, you don't care about this, you don't care about that, and they can just say anything they want. I remember when I was starting my business, along with my job, there was a lot of hardship. I mean, it was very difficult because you have to do your 8 hours job, then you have to take care of family, then you have to find out some time for business, and obviously I cannot get into time to waste my time with my weekend parties. What do you think will happen? All of a sudden, when you start working on your dream, before this work, you are spending your time in weekend with some people. All of a sudden, they're lonely now. If they're lonely, what are they going to do? They're going to attack you. They can brand you that this guy is now totally selfish. He's not doing anything else. He's whatever they can say. And it hurts. It hurts. But the name of the game is handling this hurt and moving on. Very difficult. So first, people have fear of failure. The reason they're apathetic, past failures. Second, wrong programming. Third, very important, wrong role models. Our role models are decided by our limited world, isn't it? Now think upon it. Those whom you do not know, how will you make them as a role model? And 90% people don't read books. After one level, the study has been conducted that 90% people do not open a book after their college. So how do you change your role models? That means our role model, unfortunately, are limited by our known circle. Our known circle is made up of whom? Our colleagues, our relatives, and some of our neighbors. That's it. I mean, see how limited we become when you don't expand our exposure, when you don't expand our vision. That's where the problem begins. So wrong role models. Lack of belief. The fourth point is lack of belief. People do not believe that they can succeed. And that's where peak impact mentorship comes into picture, where we make sure that you stay with this association for 1 year. I guarantee you, if nothing happens, your belief about yourself, about your abilities will increase by 2 notch up. I guarantee you, that is my 100% guarantee. Don't miss any of my session. Don't miss any of my course which I release, and just go through them. I promise you personally, you will be transformed. Nobody can stop you. I guarantee you. And the last one is wrong association. So out of this, which I said right now, I repeat again, past failure, wrong programming, wrong role models, lack of belief, and wrong association. Which one is relevant for you? So if you're on this chat right now, what did you guys say? Which one is relevant for you? Out of these 5, which do you believe is a bottleneck for your growth or a bottleneck for your success? Which one is it? All of you. Drop me a message. Drop me a message in the chat box. Out of this 5, which I said right now, which one do you believe is a bottleneck for your life, which is stopping you to create a life which is worth living? Fast. Let me take 10 seconds of break. So all of you, put in the chat box, what is stopping you? Out of this 5 which I said, which is making us apathetic, which one is relevant for you? Let's do it right away. I mean, let's see. I can see, oh, Sainath is saying all on. Sainath, thank you for honesty. It takes really guts to say the truth. Very nice, Hari Pandit. I am feeling relieved and amazing with your thought about the dream. That's nice. Hari Pandit, keep chasing your dream. Feels like achieved. Yes, I have my previous question. So out of the 5 limiting things which I told you right now, which one is relevant for you? Write it down. Sainath said all. Wrong company. Krishna Chaitanya said wrong association. Very nice. Dinesh says wrong association. Very nice, Dinesh. Anybody else? I see more than 50 plus people on the line right now. So anybody else? If there. All right. So till now I have covered one basic fundamental. People fear. Then I talked about apathy. If you have apathy, you cannot say. So apathetic people will never make their world different. Why? Because they don't care. And if you don't care, it will not. So Weber is telling Krishna Chaitanya past belief. Weber is saying past failures. Yes, Weber, we are right. Thanks for your honesty. If anybody else, any other points before I go further. So now let me add 3 more points, and then I'll go to the next point of today. So if you carry apathy for any reason, so let's say you have this out of this 5 past failures or wrong programming or wrong role models or lack of belief or wrong association, whatever it is, you know what is the biggest challenge you'll face? You'll face if you're apathetic, you will never make anything significant anymore. Why? Because you have subconsciously developed a habit of mediocrity. Subconsciously. Your conscious mind is not agreeing. That's why you're part of the PIM right now. That's why you're watching this show right now. You're with me right now at 9 p.m. But subconsciously, because of the past failure and again, what is happening is we are not able to take it further. It's subconsciously, not consciously, okay? But the good news is this, we can work together and in few months, we can fix it up for sure, okay? Now, indifferent people will not live a life that matters. Why? Because if you're indifferent, how will you live a life that matters? A life that matters needs a lot of intensity and it will not happen automatically. Passive people take themselves out of the greatest. I mean, they take themselves out of the movie. They start believing, probably it is not for me. They start thinking like this, probably it is not for me. No, it is for some great people, not for me at all. I am not one of them. They start thinking like that. So if that is the case, folks, so you cannot. So let me tell you what you do. So let me give you some mindset. How to remove this mindset of apathy. 5 points I'll give you again. And tell me which 5 is relevant for you, okay? I'll give you again 5 points. I will try to, I will make it happen. Now try, I'll talk it in the next further point, I'll talk about it. But as of now, just take this one line. I will try. How many times you use this line? I will try. Trust me, that is not enough. The vocabulary should be, I will get it done. So remove this vocabulary, I will try, and replace it with, I will get it done. That's it. Start doing it. Okay, the first one. So tell me right now which one you're using already. Okay, if you want to remove it, the mindset which you need, the mindset to create a life which is worth living, the first mindset is, I will try. You have to remove this word with, I will get it done. Second one, I am thinking on it. This is something which really amazes you. How will you, I mean, thinking is okay, but how will help? Thinking alone will help you. I am thinking to, I am acting on it. That's a big difference. Yes, you have to think, but then I am acting on it is the right word. You should change this thinking from I am thinking to I am acting on it. Big difference. You have to think for it, but action is more important than thinking. All right. Third, I am planning. This is another word. A lot of people keep spending time on planning and planning and planning and planning and planning and planning and planning. And then finally nothing happens. So what you should do? I am executing. I am executing. That's very, very important. And then I'm scared to fail. This is something which all of us go through. I'm scared to fail to I am willing to fail forward. One of my favorite book of John Maxwell, Failing Forward. And I've created a curriculum out of it. Already it is there. So you can go through it. So I'm scared to fail to I am willing to fail forward. The last one, the mindset. I will do it someday. I will do it someday. 2, I will do it now. The word is I'll do it now. So out of these 5 mindsets I gave you right now, which one is relevant for you? Put in the comment section, which one is relevant for you? Out of these 5, so KZS, I will try it. I'm thinking on it, all of you. I like your honesty, KZ, it's good. Honesty is very, very important. I'm scared to fail. So you are able to relate with all. So Bobby is there online. Hi, Bobby. Nice to see you. All right. So out of these 5 which I said right now to you, which one is more relevant for you? Which one is more relevant for you? I add on it. So Kezia said all 5 are relevant for her. That's great. So now how do you create? So let me give you now 4-step algorithm. Okay. A very simple 4-step algorithm. And that's what we'll cover in this section today. So what are the 4 steps? First and foremost, the 4th step is number 1, accept the truth. Accept the truth and get rid of excuses. You will say, what does that mean, Vijay? Which truth you're talking about? I'll tell you. The truth I'm talking about, first one is, no one stumbles upon a life worth living. No one stumbles upon a life worth living. You'll never stumble. It will never happen by accident. You have to be very intentional about it. How do you do it? You have to be intentional. Second, the call of excuse and not excuse. Most people don't know this. This is a very interesting line. Okay, I'll give it. This is one of my favorite quotation, and you can note it down. I'll in fact put it in the chat box. You like it. It's easier to get from failure to success than from excuses to success. It's an amazing one. Okay, let me give it to you. You will like it. Put it here in the comment box. So this is my favorite quote. It's easier to go from failure to success than from excuses to success. This is something which you will love it. So go through it. All right. So when I say truths and getting rid of excuses, as long as you keep on giving excuse to yourself, it will not work out. So I'll give you some. I read recently a very good book by Victor and Mildred Gorzel. That's an amazing book. The book name is Cradles of Eminence, and in that, the author has studied 300 successful people's background and their childhood, how they were in their childhood, and the outcome which it came. And in that book, there are a lot of successful people worldwide, starting from Roosevelt, Helen Keller, Winston Churchill, Albert Schweitzer, Calra Burton, Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, and Sigmund Freud. There were the following people into that book. And what they found was mind-blowing. I'll give you the 4-5 summary, which was mind-blowing in that book. What they found, first one, 3/4 of them were the children were troubled by poverty. 3/4. That means 3 out of 4 people in that successful people were from extremely poverty-driven background. They didn't have money to survive. Can you believe it? Broken home. Not only poverty, broken home. Either parents were divorced, or they were having struggles at home, difficult parents. All the wrong things were happening in their life. They had all the reasons to become drunkard. They had all the reason to be failure, but they chose to create a life which is worth living. That's mind-blowing. Second thing they found, 74 out of the 85 writers of fiction and drama, and 16 out of 25 poets came from the homes where as a children they saw tense psychological drama played out by their parents. What does it mean? 74 out of 85 writers were having the parenting which was very disturbed parenting. That means parents are fighting like cat and dog. There was tremendous psychological stress, and they ended up becoming amazing author. Isn't it true? Now, what excuse can we give to ourselves? Think upon it. I'm sure with God blessing, our present scenario is not that bad. I'm sure about it. But people are able to do it. 1/4, and not only that much, 1/4 of the sample suffered physical handicaps. Can you believe it? 25% suffered physical handicap. Some did not have a hand, some did not have a leg, somebody had blindness, somebody was deaf, somebody has crippled limbs. All those sort of things were there. But despite that, they chose to make things happen for them. Can you believe it? That's a fact. That is the reason. Long time back, my mentor, Paul Martinelli, he said me long time back, we just start reading books. Start reading books. And I always say, Paul, I don't like reading books. And he said, if you want to become successful, develop a reading habit. Join a book club. He said, join a book club. Be part of some mastermind. Be part of some group. And I said, this all cost money. He said, yeah. What do you think? Life will be free of cost. Come on. You cannot create a life worth living absolutely free of cost. You need that association, and that successful association is not going to come free. And he gave a very good logic. I liked it. He said, your income is an average of 5 people you associate with. So think upon it. If you want to create a mastermind of successful people, why would they waste their time with us if we are not even paying for it? That's very, very important. So the point to note, people ask me all the time how to start their business, how to start their coaching, training, mentoring business. And I always tell them only one thing: don't wait for the perfect time, get started now. And they always say, man, I have to do something, I say, yes, preparation has to happen. In fact, I'll say this: to have a life that matters, write it down, it's a very interesting line. To have a life that matters, you have to start. Yes, there might be some tough situations in your life, but remember this: if your past and your present is not good, your chances of creating something great is much higher, provided you are willing to get started with a positive frame of mind. I repeat again, to have a life that matters, you have to start. Yes, there might be some tough situations in your life. Nobody denies that. But remember this: if your past or your present is not good, your chances of creating something great is much higher, as proven by the book Cradles of Eminence, provided you're willing to let go your frame of mind. So I'll show you one very interesting image. Right now, I was just prepared while preparing this talk. I was getting this image. So I'll show you. This image will help you. Let me show you this image, okay? Let me share my screen. This image will help you to get some clarity. See this image and tell me, what do you see in this image, okay? Let me see this, okay, to all of you. What do you exactly see in this? When I show you this one, what do you see? All right, let me see this. Here it is. See this. This is how life works. I'm sure you're able to see the screen. So see this image, okay? It's up to you how you want to read. One way you can read, you matter, don't give up. Another way is you don't matter, give up. Either way, words are same. Check it out. I repeat again. What an amazing. I saw this image somewhere in Facebook today, and I just took it out. I said it will help all of you to see. Words are same. Change the sequence, meaning changes. In the first sequence you want, you can keep you matter, don't give up. In another sequence, you don't matter, give up. Either way, you will be right. Amazing, Asis. So I hope you got this message very well. So that was the whole idea. So till now, whatever point I said, after the book, if somebody asks you what is the book's name, the book name I'm talking about is Cradles of Eminence. This is the book I'll talk about. Victor, I'll give it to you. All of you, it's a very good book. If you like reading book, you should read. It's a sort of autobiography, small chapters. Victor and Mildred Gurzel, Cradles of Eminence. It's an amazing book. If you want to go through it, you can give up. Perfect. This is good. So this is the first point I gave you. So if you want to start, so first accept the truth and get rid of excuses. So which excuse are you giving to yourself? If I'll ask right now to all of you, if you're on this call, which excuse is stopping to you? Is it money, time, health? Which excuse right now you are giving to yourself? I mean, if you can be transparent enough with yourself, which excuse is stopping your personal growth right now? Whichever. I mean, you have aspiration, you have been thinking for some time, I'll start this. What is that excuse you're giving to yourself? Is it time excuse? Is it money excuse? Is it some expertise excuse? Which excuse are you giving to yourself? If you can be honest, I would like to know, some of you put in the chat box, which excuse is stopping you right now to create a life which is worth living? All right. So I'll give you 5F of transformations, 5F formula. You can note it down. It's an amazing formula. So mental health, amazing. I'm not able to see your name. So, but good. Honestly, I like honesty. For mental health, Peak Impact Mentorship solution for you. You can be part of our Ascending Your Peak program that can definitely help you out. You can be part of Positive Association. That association can transform your life. Dinesh said money. You're right. Nobody will have enough money for our dream. I can assure you. That's for truth. Asis is saying communication. You're right, Asis. Good news is of communication is it's a learnable skill. It's not a God-gifted skill. So best part is this. My new batch of communication skill workshop is starting in August. If you have the interest, you can drop in email. My email ID I'll send to all of you. My email ID is bj@pim.org.in. You can drop me an email for sure. If whoever want to, you can connect. So external focus, that's very nice, Krishna. As long as you keep worrying about others, you will never be able to grow in your life, in your dream. Market and money. Money, yes, I understand. Money is a global problem for all of us, Manish, I can agree. But the only thing is, do we keep thinking about money problem or we start increase the money problem is a very big important point. In this regard, I'll give you one interesting thing. Understand the difference between saving, investing, and spending. All three you have to understand very well, okay? Saving versus investing. I would prefer investing more. You know why? Because some component I'll save for sure, because all of us have to have some liquid money for our family. But I will invest. Now, when I say investment, I'm not talking about investment of property, investment and all. My biggest bet is on me. I always invest in myself more than anything else, because I know all other investment can be stolen. Somebody can fight for it. But my investment, my brain, which I have invested more than 60, 70 lakhs on my brain in last 30 years. I have invested a lot on my brain. When I say I have invested, after starting my career, I'm talking about, okay? I'm not talking about my childhood, which my parents have invested already. They have done a good job in that. But beyond that, I'm talking about when I started making money, I started investing more than 60, 70 lakhs on my brain. I have not let it go on chance. And I mean it. I'm not just talking it. You come to my house, it will be filled with books. It will be filled with CDs, DVDs. A lot of things are there. I'm like a crazy about education. That's why I chose this education field. So Vaibhav is saying time and laziness. Honesty is, I like your honesty, Vaibhav. It takes guts to accept the truth, but that's good. I'm able to accept it. That's nice. So good news is this, it's absolutely deletable. If you want to delete, you can delete it. You need a positive association. So now I'll give you 3F formula to transform yourself. Okay, what is the 3F formula? Write down. Fail. First is fail. You will fail. No matter what you start, you will fail. The first one is fail. Second one is feedback. So after failing, take feedback. Because failing cannot help you succeed. You'll become master in failing, but you have to take feedback. You have to take some idea why you're failing, okay? After feedback, again, attempt, which I say figure it out. So fail, then feedback, then figure it out, and then feel it. That's the best thing you can do, feel it, and then fathom it. So I give you a 5F formula of transformation. Anytime you want to accomplish anything, you follow this 5F formula, it will transform you. In this, how many of you can handle failures and feedback? Tell me honestly, if you're on this call right now, can you handle feedback? If you fail somewhere and people give you feedback. Now, feedback versus criticism, I have done a talk on itself. Well, almost 1 hour talk I did on this difference between feedback versus criticism. But I'm talking about, if you fail, are you willing to take feedback? If not, no harm in it. You keep failing again and again and again. But if you're willing to take feedback, it will transform you. It will help you to grow. Okay. So fail, feedback, figure it out, and fathom. So if you can do that, it will transform you for sure. So 5F formula. The first point which I'm covering today, if you want to create a life which is worth living, the point number 1 I said right now is, first and foremost thing is, get rid of excuses. Accept the truth and get rid of excuses. Point number 2, get started and learn during the journey. This is mind-blowing. When I say get started and learn during the journey, understand this. If thinking alone would be sufficient, all of us would be healthy, all of us would be rich, and all of us would be happy. Isn't it true? If who is thinking to have unhealthy life? Nobody, right? So if thinking alone is sufficient, then you all have been healthy, isn't it? I would have been having 6-pack abs right now, and we would be really rich. Who say I want to be poor? Nobody, right? That means if thinking is enough, we'll be rich, we'll be healthy, and most importantly, we'll be happy. But if you see, the whole world is actually opposite of these 3. We have health problem. Definitely we lack happiness. And most importantly, yes, all of us have dreamed to become rich. I have a dream to become rich as well. So I'm not against money. So thinking alone is not enough. So what do you do then? Most important, to create anything worthwhile, we need to break out of our comfort zone. Oh, that is very difficult. So the word comfort zone is actually confusing, Comfort zone, actually, it's a misnomer. Comfort zone is actually uncomfortable. Isn't it true? If you're in a comfort zone, how can you accomplish anything great? So comfort zone is a misnomer. Comfort zone is actually uncomfortable. So that means we have to break our comfort zone. To understand little bit science of comfort zone, human beings operate in autopilot mode most of the time. Check it out. By the time you wake up and you go to your basin to do your brush, do you realize you're not using your brain? You're in the half sleep mode. You go to the basin and you start brushing. It's half sleep mode. You go to the restroom, it is in half sleep mode. Then observe your morning routine of first 5 or 6 activities. You're not even using your brain, be it restroom, be it drinking water, be it whatever. I mean, somebody has a ritual of taking morning tea, whatsoever you're doing, it is already programmed. Your brain naturally goes into autopilot mode because that's what the first priority of brain is. And that is the reason anytime you want to change some patterns in your mind, your brain will say, wait, I'm scared. It will take more energy. So it will stop you. Wait, hold on. Why are you changing? And that's where we get trapped into comfort zone. And the signals which comfort zone gives you is unnecessary, exaggerated fears. It exaggerates the fear as if this world will change, as if the whole world will break. And your brain will say, no, not required. Hold on. We'll not change it. We'll keep that status quo. It doesn't work. Try. Let me assure you, it doesn't work. If you stay in that comfort zone, nothing will work out. So first and foremost, intention alone will not help you. We need to be intentional. Big difference. Okay. And we need to break our comfort zone. How do you do it? To create a life that you will be proud of, you must take action. That means you must be an action-driven person. Very, very important. I'll give a very interesting line. Being passive may feel safe. Being passive may feel safe. If you do nothing, nothing can go wrong. But while inaction cannot fail, it cannot succeed either. It's an amazing line. So let me give you this line to all of you. You'll like it, okay? Let me give you this line. You will love this line. Here is the line. Note it down so that you don't miss out. The line which I've given to all of you is this. To create a life that you'll be proud of, you must take action. Being passive may feel safe. If you do nothing, nothing can go wrong, for sure. But while inaction cannot fail, it cannot succeed also. That means if you don't take action, you will not fail for sure. But will you succeed also? No way. That means you have to take action. That means you have to fail. And if you are not okay to fail, you'll be in trouble. We can wait. That's a very interesting line. We can wait and wish. But if we do, we miss the stories our lives could do. So what is the assignment? I'll give you a couple of assignments here. So write it down. Assignment number 1. Are you tempted to wait until the ideal time comes? And I'll give you my personal story here. Naturally, what is it? Okay, man, I'll do it later. Right now, it is not the right time. Probably pandemic is going on. Probably this is going on. Okay, now we are planning for a baby. So this is not the right time. Okay, I'm planning for promotion. So it seems this is not the right time. Tell me, when is the right time? Tell me, when is the right time? I mean, if you genuinely have a planned way, I mean, you have planned it perfectly, your things are scheduled, I understand. But if you have not planned anything, tell me, when will you have time? You will never have time. The first question is, are you tempted to wait until an ideal time comes? If that is the case, then I'll tell you, stop waiting. Okay, this is assignment I'm giving to you. And this entire will be systematically cut in the curriculum, so nothing to worry. So do you worry that if you start on this journey without knowing exactly where it will go, you might not do well? That means you want an assurity of success in the beginning. You want a clear-cut blueprint. Okay, tell me what all I need to do. Life doesn't work that way. Trust me, life doesn't work that way. You have to take the first foot forward without knowing the next 5 foots. You have to get started. That's the only way it works out. And third one, are you concerned that you might fail? There are 3 questions I'll ask you right now. So whenever you want to create an intentional life, you want to get started during the journey, these are the 3 questions which will help you to get started, because your natural tendency will be to stop. So I'll give you my personal example. Okay. Now, being a John Maxwell certified coach, I am having content license of 20 plus books. And I've been thinking I'll cut out course. So I'll tell you what sort of thoughts were coming in my mind. I thought I need a studio. Now think how a brain is thinking always. What you do not have, brain will always ask you that only. So I don't have studio room, and without a studio room, how will I cut out my beautiful videos? So what was happening? So rent was out of reach. So I went to and talked to some studios. They were asking the rate, which I said, forget it. It's not in my range. It's not in my budget. So idea deleted. Second, I thought, okay, I will need all proper lightnings, all the lightning, and I need a space also. Again, I found it is impossible because I don't have a big room. It's a small room. My study room I have to convert, because post-pandemic, my study room is my office, my study room is my studio, whatever. So answer came, I'm not having it. So that again, another excuse I got to not do it. Okay. Third, I thought I need to change the home. So the third option was, okay, let me change the home. If the home is small, let me change the home. And then finally I realized, man, all these things, my brain is unnecessarily confusing me. It is not going to happen. Let me do one thing. I'm cutting out a course. I'm not a movie star, isn't it? I'm not a movie star. What matters to my student, the people who want to grow, is my content. My content is important. As long as it's a presentable video, as long as I can come decently and sit and help you out with my knowledge, it's done. Why am I making excuse out of it? Now, when I'm telling you this, understand, I have delayed this assignment by 1 year. Now, I consider myself very proactive. Despite being a proactive person, I delayed myself 1 year. Can you believe it? Now, what forced me? What forced me was $18,000 forced me. You'll say, what does it mean? I invested $18,000 this year for my personal coaching by my coach, Paul Martinelli, who stays in US. And by the time I invested it, now I knew I cannot waste my time. I have 1 year to make sure things are happening, things are rolling out. I have to cut out my 6 to 7 courses this year. I have to do it because now I'm extremely proactive. Now, $18,000 staying in India is a huge amount. Huge for a personal growth. What do you do now? You want to grow. I cannot just sit at the home and watch my future drawing. No, I want my future to grow. And I said, man, let me bet on myself, because nothing else is in my control. Vijay is in my control. I can control myself. I can take charge on my life. And I did it. So I didn't make any excuse. So when I'm talking to you, I'm very vulnerable, okay? I always believe in telling what I did, because I don't care about telling other story, because other stories, others, I talk about my story. So don't give excuse to yourself. And another excuse, which is quite common, my English is not good. I mean, yes, my English is not good, but do I have to wait lifelong for it? It is not possible in this birth. Whatever has happened, move on, man. As long as I can communicate my message, I don't care. Those mindsets, slowly. One thing I have understood, and I can tell you, my videos of 2020 is much better than my videos of 2018. My videos of 2021 are better than 2020, and my videos of 2025 will be 1,000 times better of this year, for sure. And that is the only hope I carry for myself. What is the learning from this? So when I talk about this point, what is your learning? Can you add a few lines which you learned from this when I covered this point? So by now I've covered a lot of points. I'm sure you'll not be able to recall everything. So what is when I talk about excuses, which excuse you have given to yourself in this time? I gave a practical example of mine. So which one is stopping you? Which is your bottleneck? I see more than 30, 40 people right now on the line. So what did you guys say? Which one is stopping you? Which is your bottleneck out of the point which I covered? So which assignment, by the way, first tell me which assignment you are stopping. I mean, which thing is procrastinated for you for some time now? Just I told you I have to cut out my courses, which I've been thinking for some time, but was not doing it. So what was that for you? What you had been stopping for some time? What did you guys share? Let me learn from you. So then we can go to the point number 3 of today. All right. So who would like to share? I see a lot of you are there online right now. So who would share? Continual improvement. Very nice, Dinesh. I liked it. That's very amazing. Very, very nice. Continual improvement. Perfect. All right. So another 10 minutes and I'll be done. Anybody else? Anything you want to add before I go to my next point of the day? All right. So point number 3. So first point number is you have to be intentional. You cannot give excuses to yourself, and I give you some assignment for that. So point number 2 was get started. And point number 3, which I'm giving right now, is very, very important point. This can help you to again transform it. First, find the work in your area of giftedness. This is something which is mind-blowing. When I say find the work in the area of giftedness, a lot of people are not even clear what is their gift area, to be honest. Now, to find your gift area and nurturing, I'll ask you 4 questions that can help you get clarity. I'll ask you just 4 simple questions. This will help you out, okay? Now, what are those 4 questions? Those 4 questions are very simple. Can you be the best version of yourself? A very fundamental question. Can you be the best version of yourself? Is the first question I like to ask. All right. Second thing. Hold on. I see. Is my voice coming? All right. Charge off. Just a second. All right. I hope it is coming to all of you. Just a second. All right. So can you be the best version of yourself? Is the first question I'll ask you. Second question I'll ask, are you excited of the work you are doing right now? Are you excited about the work you are doing right now? Are the 4 questions I'll ask you, and I'll take you further tomorrow. Then are you investing on yourself to become the best? And the 4th question I'll ask you is, do you have patience to complete the project? Now, detail of this question I'll talk tomorrow. Today I've given you enough points, so I hope you all liked it. Why don't you guys share your experience? So I'll go further. I think most of the things are done for today. I have 2 more points to cover, which I'll read tomorrow. So till now, let me summarize what I have covered today so that we can wrap it up. I'm talking about how to create a life which is worth living, is the course which I'm creating, and you're all part of that course. So I started with a very simple point today. The point number 1 I started was, accept the truth and get rid of excuses. And I gave you a couple of excuses which all of us have. And I gave you an example of cradles of eminence. Voice is not audible? Is it not audible? Is it not coming? Voice is clear? Is it not? I hope voice is coming, right? It should be there. All right. So that's what I started with, basic point. And then I said, I gave the example of that most of the people who are successful, 75% people were not coming from good background. They were having some struggles in their life. All right. And then I covered a lot of other points today. So if you have any questions or anything else, it's audible, right, Manish? That's perfect. Some technology issues. All right. So I'm sure you had a great day. So whatever you learned today, this video will be available for the next 24 hours. After that, it will be removed from this. So if you want to complete it now, because yesterday's video is there by tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning it will be removed. So if you want to really complete it done right away and learn it, and let me know what's you're learning. Most important, I want to know what are you learning, because this course will be cut out systematically with all the worksheets and all, which will be released in September timeframe. So meanwhile, you guys are part of the creation. So that's the best part. So when the world will purchase it later on, you are actually in the making part. So if anybody has some good story, let me know. I'll add your story in that syllabus as well. It will have you. Elaboration of 5F point. That's very nice. Sainath, I'll explain to you. So let me explain to you what is that 5F point. All right. So 5F point is very simple. So first and foremost is fail. Okay. What I mean by fail. So you will start something, you will fail. Would you agree? Now, most of the time we are not doing something because we don't want to fail. That is what I mean by first one is fail. And after failing, people will criticize you. That's for sure. Now, all criticisms are not bad, by the way, okay? And this recently I did a series on failure. You can go through that. It will definitely help you out. So feedback means you're taking feedback from your mentor. Somebody is coaching you. Take feedback, man. What can I do better? Failing is, there's no crime in failing. Okay, there's no harm in failing. But failing can be done in a more better way. That is very, very important. All right. So that is what I mean by feedback. And then figure it out means after failing, you have to succeed later on. And then after figuring out, you feel it and then fathom it. That's what I meant by it. It seems that's what I meant. Any other questions? Anybody else? So that was the question. I think we're done. All right. Good. So if you have any question, drop in the comment section. I will cover it up once I see tomorrow. And we'll meet up tomorrow 9 p.m. for the further point of these 2 more points which I covered. And I'll cover tomorrow. It was great talking to all of you. Thank you so much.